than just a martial art. It's a cultural expression that merges sport and culture and music. It was developed in Brazil mainly for African slaves that were suffering from Indian influence and characterized by coups and agile movements.
That's it. One feature that distinguishes capoeira from other martial arts is its musicality. Practitioners of Brazilian martial arts not just learn how to fight, but also to play typical instruments and singing. Experienced capoeiristas that ignore the musicality are considered incomplete. The story starts in the beginning of the African slavery in Brazil. In the 16th century, Portugal had one of the biggest colonial empires of the Europe, and they needed hand labor to make it work. So they attempted to capture and enslave the Brazilian Indians. The Portuguese couldn't enslave the Brazilian Indians for several reasons. So they were able to take part from the African slave trade.
During the time, the farms of sugarcane were the principal economic activity, and the slaves were forced to work there, living in humanity and inhuman conditions. Was forced to work, exhausting, often suffering the physical punishment.
Even though slaves were bigger in number, the lack of weapons, the laws, and the complete ignorance of the land they were discouraged from rebelling. In this scenario, born the capoeira, more than a fighting technique, has emerged as a hope for freedom and survival.
Fearing rebellions, fighting among slaves, and the practice of any type of fighting was banned, completely banned. Due to the colonial ban, capoeira evolved into kind of dance, which expressed the struggle that they were practicing or they were experiencing.
After the liberation of the slaves, they found themselves abandoned to their own fate. Marginalized by the society and without a job, many capoeiristas start to use their skills for unconventional ways. Many began using capoeira as bodyguards, mercenaries, hired killers, and soon the Brazilian Republic decreed a ban on capoeira throughout all the country.
Nowadays, capoeira became not only an art or a cultural aspect, but a true export of Brazilian culture abroad. The, the martial art aspect is still very present, and as in ancient times is still stable, and this guides.
Symbol of African Brazilian culture, a symbol of ethnic miscegenation, and a symbol of resistance to oppression, capoeira has really changed its image and become a source of pride for Brazilian people. Currently, it is considered an intangible cultural heritage of Brazil.